Hi guys, welcome to this video. So I wanted a mechanical keyboard for my office and educational needs. I'm not a gamer per se. I only play occasionally and most of my gaming needs are met with a controller rather than a mechanical keyboard. So my needs for a mechanical keyboard was purely for typing. And when I searched for a mechanical keyboard online, the RedGear Shadow Amulet was the cheapest one that I could find, and I bought it naturally. So how did that purchase go? Let's find out. The RedGear Shadow Amulet mechanical keyboard with clicky blue switches is the official name of this keyboard on Amazon. I know it's a little bit tacky, but whatever. There's nothing much to the unboxing experience of this keyboard. There's only the keyboard and the user guide inside the box and nothing else. And at this price point, I don't expect anything else from this unboxing experience either. To the keyboard itself. So it has a levitating switches and the layout of the keyboard is a pretty standard one. It has numpad to the right of the keyboard. If you like to enter a lot of numbers or if you play with Excel a lot, you will absolutely love the inclusion of the numpad in this keyboard. And apart from that, everything about the keyboard screams gamery, be that the font they used on the keycap and the lighting effects on this keyboard. This is a very big keyboard and you'll have to stretch your fingers a lot to reach the top row of the keyboard. And there's no wrist rest included in the box, which means that your finger will be in a weird position for most of the time. And it will get taxing on your fingers after a prolonged typing session. There's a built-in foot in the keyboard to help with the reachability of the keys, but that is a very cheap addition and it gets knocked over by accident a lot. Whenever I try to move the keyboard or reposition the keyboard, the feet gets knocked over on its own, which is a very nightmare after a while. So if you are planning to type on this keyboard for prolonged amount of time, I suggest you invest in a good wrist rest. Because of the size of this keyboard, I wish it came with a wrist rest inbox, or at least the keyboard was a little slimmer, but I guess that's okay at this price point. So coming to the construction of this keyboard, it is entirely constructed with plastic, the deck, the keycaps and everything. But actually it is a good plastic and it feels like it is sturdy and there is very minimal deck flex to it. It is 800 grams in weight and it looks like it can take a beating and go on. So coming to the keycaps are constructed with dual shot injection process, which means that there's actually two types of plastic in these keycaps and the lettering is actually another plastic itself. It is a kind of a sandwiching process, which means that the keycaps will last practically forever. It will not fade over time. And also the keycaps are constructed in a matte finish rather than a glossy one, which I prefer, and because of the matte finish, it takes fingerprints way less than a glossy finished one. So the keys are blue switches from the brand called Orange. So it's probably a Chinese knockoff of the legendary Cherry MX Blues. The blue switch means that it will have a clicky nature to this. And some people, including me, for example, like the clickiness of this keyboard. It will offer a very good sound feedback from those clicks and I like that. There is a little amount of metallic reverb from the springs used in these keycaps when you are typing on this keyboard, but it is not a deal breaker for me, and especially considering this price, I don't think that is a very big issue. But there is one very big issue, and that is the wobble in the spacebar. It is very atrocious. It is like the spacebar is dancing around in its place. And it will take you out of that typing experience, to be very frank. I wish it had more stabilization. So apart from the spacebar, all other keys have very good consistency in terms of the actuation force needed and the sound consistency and everything. Like I mentioned earlier, the font that they used on this keyboard is way tacky and I seriously don't like it. And I believe you will get used to this keyboard very fast. So within the first 2 days of my purchase, I was able to get my full typing speed on this keyboard. Granted, I'm not a typing master or anything and my typing speed is very mediocre at best, but I enjoy typing on this. The thing is that up until this point, I was using my laptop keyboard, and when I was typing in my laptop, I could basically type laying down. There was no issue like that. But when you are typing in this mechanical keyboard, because of the mechanical nature, the big size and everything, you will have to get your computer posture bang on in order to avoid stress on your fingers. If you're typing on this keyboard with a bad computer posture, your hands will get tired very fast and it will introduce so much stress on your hands, which is not a pleasant experience at all. So because of this keyboard, I can say that I got my computer posture right. So I want to talk about the RGB lighting in this keyboard. Obviously at this price point, it is not real RGB. The lights are zoned as rows and each row has different color light. You cannot change the color of these lights and it will take away the opportunity to have a minimal lighting look on your computer. I don't care for this RGB lighting at this price point, especially because of the fact that the keycaps uses black background and white lettering, which means that you can see or make out these keycaps even in dim lighting conditions. But the biggest issue with this lighting effects on this keyboard is that there is no memory function to this lighting. Let me explain. So what it means that this light will turn on every time you turn on this keyboard. Say you connect this keyboard to your computer or you turn on the computer, the lights will also turn on, and you have to turn off the light manually every time you turn on this keyboard or your computer, which will get annoying after a while. I hope they defaulted to the lights off, or they provided memory function so that the keyboard remembers where I left the light. So about the light effects and the RGB effects on this keyboard, you can change the effects and you can change the effect speed on this keyboard, but I was unable to find any option to change the brightness of this backlight, which is also annoying. So in terms of RGB, I don't recommend this keyboard. If you like the blue, red, green, all unicorn colors and everything, maybe it is for you, but it is not for a minimalist, or if you want a minimal look, this is not the keyboard for that. Again, I am leaving with that function because of the price point. I'm coming back to the price of this keyboard way often that I intended to, but at the end of the day, this is a cheap keyboard and that is what you get for this price point. The keyboard has media control keys on the top of this keyboard where you can play your music and pause your video and things like that. You can access this function by pressing the function button and the respective key. Then there is Windows key lock in this keyboard, which will avoid you accidentally pressing the Windows key while you're gaming, which can enable by pressing the function button and the window key together. And there are 28 anti-ghosting keys in this keyboard. Anti-ghosting means it will avoid you accidentally double pressing some buttons that you frequently use for gaming, such as the WASD keys and the arrow keys. So to sum it all up, the biggest gripes I have with this keyboard are the size of the keyboard and the lighting effect on this keyboard. But at 1700 rupees, I don't think you can find another keyboard without these gripes. And the biggest pro of this keyboard is the mechanical feel of this keyboard, which I enjoyed a lot. So whether I would suggest this keyboard or not, if you want a mechanical sounding keyboard at 1700 rupees and you don't mind living with the gripes that I mentioned with this video, yes, absolutely, go for it. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope it gave you some idea about this keyboard and it influenced your purchasing decisions. Thank you once again. This is Anuvin Sare signing off. Also, subscribe to my channel for this upcoming videos. That's it.